All right, it's some 9 minutes after 8. Welcome to my banner. And today we did mention earlier, we're talking land administration, land title administration. The Lands Commission has got something new that it wants to let all of us know. But we've also got some issues that we want to also check. But what are the processes if you want to register your piece of land, for instance? Can it be can you not meet any human being and still go through the process? Lots of questions on my mind and on your mind as well. You're welcome to still send me on our WhatsApp platform 0560-800-000. You can also do so on facebook.com/Joy News on TV. My guest seated, Dr. Wilfred K. Enimodame, is the Executive Secretary of the Lands Commission. Also, Mr. Ben Arthur, who is a Chief Land Administrator Officer, also with the Lands Commission, and also the leader project implementation team. This is the new projects that we'll also talk about. So gentlemen, good morning and thank you for coming.
Good morning.
Yeah. I'm sure you are aware of some of the challenges that individuals have when they want to register their lands. So let me ask, how are you trying to overcome that challenge?
Thank you very much for giving us this platform to discuss with the good people of this country. May I take this opportunity to say good morning to your viewers and to the good people of Ghana. We are very privileged as Lands Commission to be invited to your studio to talk about very critical issues on national development. Land administration, as we all know, is a very critical activity that we need as a nation to propel the nation onto a higher platform in terms of development agenda. So for us at the Lands Commission, we are very much aware of the issues, of the challenges regarding land administration. For that reason, the new management, together with the new commission, we have a board. Our board is called a commission. We have realized that it's high time to take stock and to take inventory of our past actions and see how best we can revitalize and move forward so that we can bring effectiveness and efficiency in the system. So having identified some of the bottlenecks, we took advantage of the opportunity provided by the land administration project, where finances have been released to the Lands Commission, and we also took advantage of our internal human resource to see how we can blend the human resource and financial position of the ministry to bring up a change. This process started sometime in 2012, where the Lands Commission put together a team of officers from its 4 divisions. And these officers were given specific tasks. The task was for them to identify the processes and procedures within the Lands Commission. So for short, we gave that team a name known as the re-engineering team. And they were tasked to identify the bottlenecks, the overlap, the challenges in land administration. And out of that, we were able to agree as a commission that having come together as 4 divisions, which hitherto were independent organizations, you may recall that before 2008, there was Land Valuation Board, there were Title Registry, the Lands Commission at then, and then the Survey Department. All these 4 strong bodies came together in December 2008 for the new Lands Commission to be created. So on that account, it became very necessary to identify the processes in each of these 4 big guys who have come together. It was also very necessary for us to ensure that we have a common workflow of activities. Before yesterday, I'm sure Ghanaians will bear with me that if you want to access the service of the Lands Commission, you have to run to Land Registry, pick your yellow card, come to Land Valuation or Land Valuation Division, do your stamp duty, go to Survey and Mapping Division, prepare your plan, come back to Land Title Registration, pay money for publication, running in and out of the same Lands Commission.
But even the way you say it, you make it look so simple. Like if you went to one of the blocks, it would be so easy for you to do what you're doing and get out. Very, very complicated, the process is. And I'm not sure it's transparent enough for the individuals to also even know what they're doing.
That's exactly why yesterday we give opportunity to Ghanaians to see what we have been able to do as Lands Commission. What we did yesterday was an inauguration of a unit within the Lands Commission. That unit is established in our Act 767, provides that the Lands Commission should establish a client service access unit.
Client service access.
Unit.
Okay, so let me just allow Mr. Benafa to tell us. Does it mean that you're all moving into one building? Because I want to see that happen.
Yes, not immediately, but it is part of the process. But we have also recognized that we may not be in one building, but we could still link up electronically through technology. So that is what we have done so far. In fact, to try and co-locate, we have relocated the former land title registry, which was located way far in the ministries, to our cantonment's premises. So they are currently moved to the cantonment's premises. So it means that you can say we are now co-located, even though it's on different compounds, but it's around the same area.
Okay.
Again, we have done extensive networking, and therefore we are currently linked electronically. So from the client service unit, all transactions there are recorded electronically.
Okay.
And it
so
feeds to the-
typically, say I have a piece of land.
If I can talk on the co-location.
Sure.
Yeah, just an additional point. Ben has given you the short-term arrangement whereby we brought the land registration division from the ministry area to the cantonments to give a physical demonstration of the co-location. That's a short-term arrangement. In the long term, medium term, long term, we are beginning to commence the construction of a Greater Accra Regional Lands Commission. Where we are now at the cantonment, you may have seen the structures, single-story, dotted here and there, colonial buildings. I don't know if Ghanaians will want to remember what happened to the Lands Commission in March 2012, where part of the building got bent. In an attempt to restore the bent building, we've taken advantage to go 3 stories. We are going 1 level downstairs, basement for storage of our records, 2 levels upwards to provide spacious modern office space for the offices.
Okay.
So the entire cantonment area is going to be converted into the Greater Accra Regional Lands Commission office. And that will give the physical co-location of all the 4 divisions.
This will be by what time?
By close of this, by December, we are awarding the contract. We've gone through all the procurement processes. Today, I'm told the Central Tender Review Board is meeting to review.
Do we have money for the project?
We have money for the project. We are bringing from our internal generated funds. For the head office, also, you know, the head office and the regional office co-locates within the cantonment area. And for proper operations and effective management, it's not too good to have your head office and regional office existing together. So we have a plot at 37 where currently we are running a school, a service school. It's so big that we have also gotten approval, gone through all the procurement processes, gotten approval, and also done a transaction called the land swap arrangement. An investor is coming with his own capital and then building the corporate head office for the Lands Commission.
Okay.
This corporate head office will bring all the divisional directorates together at that level. So we are able to distinguish between the corporate functions and then the regional Lands Commission functions where the operations will be conducted.
When are we hoping that these 2 structures will be completed?
The sites will be handed over to the contractors latest by the end of November on these 2 projects. We've gone through all the processes.
And then they are to finish when?
For the Greater Accra Regional Office in 2 phases. The first phase is for 18 months, where half of the project will be completed, and then we'll move all staff to that part, and we also demolish the other parts. We need to do away with all the dilapidated old structures and give it a modern office environment.
All right. So, Ms. Arthur, I bought a piece of land. I want to register. What are typically the processes that I would go through?
Yes, now the processes have quite been simplified. All you need to do now is to ensure that you have all the requirements that is supposed to be attached to your indenture, what we call the indenture. That's the agreement between you and the landowner. And you walk to the CSAU, that's the Client Service and Access Unit, and you would have staff available to assist you. They would do a vetting of the document and instantly issue you with an acknowledgement receipt. And that will also indicate to you a date for you to come and collect your application. That is the simple
Collect
process.
your application, like what does it
Yes.
mean?
I mean, either you collect a completed title.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Has anybody gone through that process yet, or since it was launched? I mean, this is new.
It was launched yesterday.
So let me take my time and go through this. If I have everything that I am required to have,
Yeah.
I just present it.
Yeah.
They would acknowledge receipts
Yeah.
and then give me a date to come back.
Correct.
This will be realistically within what time frame?
Well, let's talk title, because we have different forms of registration.
Okay.
So let's talk, or different forms of services that we offer. Let's talk title registration. We are working towards ensuring that you have a maximum of 3 months to have your title delivered to you.
What does it mean? Title registration is what? Is it the certificate that
Yes,
I have duly registered the land and it's for me?
Yes, that's where it ends up with, the title certificate. Yeah. So that we're working towards 3 months. What we have done is that we have looked at, like my executive secretary said, we have looked at the entire processes that we go through. In the past, it will fall really on the client. Let's say you, as you gave.
Because I'm also
example.
registering,
Yes.
and I have been doing so for the past
Good.
1.5 years.
Yes, that is unacceptable. That is unacceptable, and I'm sure that you personally have to walk from one office to the other with stories or issues that you would require this, you require that. And you see, in the past, these different 4 agencies had their own mandates, and therefore they were working according to what mandate they have. So what we realized was that there were lots of duplications in the way registration processes were done. So we have brought all this together to make it one single process. And now you will not also be required by yourself to move from one office to the other to what we call follow-up or to do anything. We, as a commission, have that responsibility to ensure that the application you presented goes through the process internally. And we have also instituted a process where you will also be notified through text messaging, through emails, as to the processes or where there are.
Have you tried this?
I must say that we have tested it with just 2 of our services. That is for the approval of what you call site plans, and for the process of obtaining a stamp or paying your stamp duty. These are 2 of the processes that are required prior to registration. And we have tested these things at the CSAU for over 2 months, testing and trying the processes.
So,
if I can come
sure,
in.
Dr. Damia, just to, what happens to those of us who are already in the system?
Yeah, let me just take your issue of your 1.5 years in the queue. As from yesterday, 3 things are going to happen which will significantly bring a new change. First, I'm not too sure, I stand to be corrected, if you've taken time to read that document that you presented to the land registration. Most Ghanaians...
I don't remember the details, but I'm sure I read it.
Most Ghanaians, when they sign the documents, they don't even read to know the content of the documents. This time around, we are compelling every purchaser to read your document, because you come with a checklist. We have a checklist. There's a checklist rolling down the screen. You have to come when you have complied with the checklist. So you are comparing...
As in the requirements?
The requirements and what the document should entail. The content of the document. There should be a ground rent. There should be an effective date. It should be signed by the parties. The site plan should be approved by should be signed by a licensed surveyor, approved by the director of survey. These are requirements. In the past, the Lands Commission took on board documents. Some of them cannot be registered. because of lack of information.
But whose fault is that?
Your fault. You have entered into an agreement.
An officer accepted it.
That is why now we are putting the burden on you. Before you come to us, come clean. Ensure that your document is ready to be registered.
But shouldn't your officers also reject it when it doesn't meet
As
the
from
requirements?
yesterday, if you come before the CSAU and your document is not in compliance with it, we'll say, my friend, like you go to the American embassy and they find you not to be
You'll be
suitable.
bounced.
You'll be bounced with a very short letter with items ticked. This time around, we will tell you A, B, C, D are not provided. Go back, get them sorted out, and come back to us. The second point is about what people used to call the yellow card, the very important yellow card.
Oh, I had a yellow card. I was so excited. And then I was told, oh, somebody else could have that same yellow card.
Yellow card can be issued to 3 or 4 people, depending on the documents submitted. It's like your hospital admission card, acknowledgement card. So the yellow card was not evidence of ownership or registration.
But you couldn't issue that for the same piece of land.
No, any document that is presented is assumed that is good, so we accept it into the system and give you acknowledgement receipt. We have acknowledged receipt of your document.
I know people
so this
who
time
started
around,
building based on the fact that they have the yellow
we'll come
card.
to that point. The issuance of the yellow card used to take 3, 4 days or more days in the past. With the establishment of the Client Service and Access Unit, instantly, once the officers help you to go through the checklist, and we are convinced that your document is ready for registration, and acknowledgement with slip will be issued to you instantly. That same day, you walk away with a slip. That slip will tell you that we have vetted your documents, it's in compliance with the checklist, it's ready for processing, and we can give an indication of the next step of the processes. So we've cut 3 to 5 days for the issuance of the yellow card to same day, matter of minutes or hours.
So
in the past,
is this taking away the fact that, you know, Mr. Arthur and I could have the same yellow card for a piece of land?
Not
one
now.
piece of land?
Not now. In the past, it could be possible, but now it's not. And then finally, in the past, when you submit your document with a site plan, now either parcel plan or cadastral plan in the document. I know you know the plan with the red mark showing the boundaries here. That document comes to the system in the past, and then a division of the Lands Commission will invite you to go back to the site to resurvey and reproduce a plan. This time around, with the system that we have put in place, and then the operation of the Client Service and Access Unit, we expect your document to come to us with a plan that has been prepared by a licensed surveyor. It's a requirement. It's a legal requirement, LI 1444, that your site plan must be prepared by a licensed surveyor. And that plan prepared by the licensed surveyor should be screened and approved by the Director of Survey or his representative. So the new system that we have put in place now, once you've gone through that processes and your document is submitted to us, that same plan that has been put in your document will go through the system without the Lands Commission going back to the site. That process alone in the past could take you up to 6 months or more. Going back to resurvey and reproduction of a site plan could take up to 6 months. With the new system, this period is taken away. We don't need to go back again. And I'm told that in that process in the past, you have to pay some monies. I'm not too sure how much those monies were. But this time around, once you've gone through it once and approved by the Director of Survey, you don't need to pay any money again. You don't need
but
to
you're still paying for the surveyor to be on the site to do his work. But this is before I present the document to you, so...
But that's between your landowner and your good self. He has to get a licensed surveyor to prepare the site plan accurately. So you could see that with this new structure that we've put in place, one, we are reducing the time, and we're also saving a lot of money for the clients.
Can we go back to what happens to those of us who are already in the system?
Yes, we have taken care of those we call documents in transition, and they have come in with the old requirements or the previous requirements. So we have identified in the new structure at which stage the documents in the system have reached. and how you can map it into the new system. So they have nothing to worry about. That.
So can I track where my documents are now with your new system?
Yes, with our new system, for now, you would have a job number that at any time that you inquire from us with that job number, we will be able to give you information how far your processes have gone. As part of the project, we are developing what we call the Ghana Enterprise Land Information Systems, which is going to further apply more technology to what we do. And when we are able to achieve that, you would be able to track your processes online directly and even conduct searches and so on online. And we hope that by the end of this project in March 2017, that will also come on stream as part of the reforms.
We got a message earlier from Samuel in Washington State who said, land issue has become a big problem in Ghana. Unlike USA, we pay taxes on lands. The best solution is to decentralize the offices in towns and villages, cities, etc. Furthermore, have a website for easy access.
Yes, that is what I just talked about under the Ghana Enterprise Land Information Systems. Eventually, that is where we're going to go, and people will be able to go to our website.
But now that is not possible?
Currently, no. We are not there yet, but it's working.
Are you not behind? Because, I mean, this era is a whole different era. Everything is gone digital.
Yes, it is, but you should also understand that our history, we should be guided by our history. Our current situation needs to be properly corrected so that you don't go online and come into the chaotic situation that we have currently. So we are undertaking all those backstage things done before we go online.
It's very important to also add that, I mean, people keep on citing the big guys, the USA, the land.
Some people even say South Africa.
South Africa, you know, of the technology and the history, like my colleague is just saying. In our case, I mean, the land administration in this country, I have said it on several platforms, that we have not addressed land administration properly in the past. We've done it on ad hoc basis, and we have not given it serious attention as we are giving to it now. Land administration is very, very expensive, and we have to acknowledge that. Land administration is capital intensive, which we have to acknowledge as people. In the past, you and I know that we have over-relied on central government to provide everything for land administration. And sometimes the resources, our officers have to work on the field. They need vehicles, they need equipment. I don't know if you have any idea how much a total station is cost. One equipment to conduct survey is in excess of $40,000. We need this in all the regions, in all the districts, in the head office. We need the computers to store data, to process, to analyze. These are all capital intensive activities. So what we are doing currently, and as I said in my opening remarks, these activities were hitherto conducted at 4 different locations. The Lands Commission in the past, the Land Valuation Board, the Land Title Registry, and the Survey Department all worked independently. So the merger has brought a new opportunity for us. With the merger, it means we have to consolidate all those records and create one platform data.
Is this happening in the other regions as well?
It's happening. What we did yesterday, tomorrow, Ben and I and other colleagues are moving to Koforidua. After Koforidua, next week we are in Bolga and Tamale. After Bolga and Tamale, on the 12th, we'll be in Sekondi. By the end of this year, by December, and we would have established 5 client service assessments. The Lands Commission, the National Lands Commission, has committed itself to sustain this process into the future.
Is there a cost, is there a fixed cost that could be made public in terms of, you know, if I went to present all the necessary documents at your customer or client service center, how much am I paying to see the process go through?
Yes, it's one of the things that we are doing currently. The fees are different for each service. So we are going to publish the fees for each service, make them as readily available to the general public as much as possible. When you walk into the client service unit, you find a screen there that is displaying all the fees for all the services.
If I went there today, would I find it?
Yes, you would. So,
so this is a one-time payment?
Yes, what we are trying to do is to consolidate the fees that are required for the entire process, so you make that payment once. And for each CSAU, there is an on-site bank where at the front desk, once you present your document or your application, it is assessed, vetted, and the bill issued to you right there. You walk to the bank and make the payment right at the CSAU.
Oh, so you're not exchanging, I mean, you're not giving cash?
No, you go straight to the bank right there and make direct payments into the bank. Bring back the slip to any of the tellers on the counter. And then once an acknowledgement receipt is given to you, you are done with the payment and with your submissions.
Are we?
You
know, the middlemen. Yeah, I mean, this sounds too nice. Honestly, I love it, but I'm looking at the reality on the ground, honestly. Yeah. I wish I could go through that process and come back and say that it works.
That's the more reason why we want to invite every Ghanaian to give us the support. We need the support from every Tom, Dick, and Harry. You have to be very patient with us. You have to read the notices. You have to read your documents. And you have to understand the system. As from today, we're going to go on print media to talk about the processes, the fees, and what you have to do before you come to us.
Are you absolutely sure that I don't need a middleman? Because it kind of works faster with the processes when you have somebody working in there who is checking on the things for you. And it doesn't come cheap.
Having told this brilliant story, and I'm sure you are convinced by listening to Ben and I, and we are challenging you that you can send your officer to go to the cantonment office right now to give it a try. We want to tell every Tom, Dick, and Harry, every Ghanaian, that you don't need a middleman. Once you can read your document.
But do you also understand that sometimes some of the officers would want to be sorted out so that they can fast track your things for you?
Yeah.
Because sometimes these are not outsiders, these are people who are working on the documents.
Yes, it was easier for the middlemen because they had to go from one office to the other, following up on the documents. And in most cases, in the times past when you get to the Lands Commission, you have to know an officer to hand over your documents. So if you ask a lot of the middlemen, they have individual staff there that they go in and hand in the documents to, for they see it through. But this time, that officer cannot receive the document. Even if he does, he has no option but to bring it to the CSAU. Because you know what, the tracking numbers that we have, which will reflect as a file number or a document number or a code for the specific document, can only be issued from the CSAU and nowhere else.
With that motivation, in quotes, being taken away, would that person still dedicate and do the job? Because you know, sorting out, they can do a lot. They buy fuel, they do, you know, little stuff. And when somebody's used to making some extra money at the end of the day or the week or month, it's not easy to take it away from them and still expect them to give their 100% to the job.
Yes, we haven't lost sight of that. I mean, those are realities on the ground. But you see, what we have put in place behind the Client Service Access Unit is a structure for effective supervision. So we have broken down the processes into simple units, where we have unit heads to be made responsible for each process that you get. And each process has been timed. And the system that we have developed, once the document is forwarded to you electronically, you have a time frame within which to comment or to move it. And the unit head is made responsible for that process. And there are periodic M&E structures, M&E meetings that should ensure that once documents have come to your table, you have to account for them at a particular time. These in the past were not there. So you have people stashing documents and moving them as and when they require. So the client is really compelled to look out for somebody to try and motivate to do that. And we also, as the technical people on the ground, have challenged our management on the issue of motivation staff. Yeah. This is a public service, and it's not easy to implement these things in the public service without ensuring that hardworking staff or people who commit to ensuring this process works are adequately motivated to do that. And
I want to ask Dr. Enimodame if the staff are well motivated.
Yes.
If you're making changes, you should also make sure that you've made some changes in their pockets.
Yeah, you have to agree with me that change comes with a price. And this is a product that we have developed with the staff. It's a homemade product. A homemade product which indeed, to be honest with you, we had to consult with every staff of the Lands Commission in the process. Ben and his team, together with management, had to travel throughout all the 10 regions where every staff was taken through the processes. We have tried as much as possible to develop the project with the staff. It is our baby, it is their baby. Together, we have given birth to a baby. So as management, our message to the staff is, let's nurture this baby to grow and become a very responsible adult. We have been told by them, I mean, they've said it openly at several
Somebody could sabotage.
Yes,
I mean, some people could sabotage the process.
Yeah, they were told, management were told that you're taking away some of the incentives and the top-up that we were getting, so what is the compensation? Yeah, they said it, and it's human. Sometimes you have to...
So how did you respond to that?
We told them, look, if the system becomes very efficient, the commission will make more money. Our revenue will increase, and there will be motivational packages. And we've even started already.
Did that sound convincing?
It looks quite attractive, but some of these things develop over time. So what we are doing as management, and we have gone before the board with our first proposal, they are asking us to come with various options. We are trying to find a two-level incentive packages for the staff. Out of the revenue that we are generating, government has allowed us to keep part of it for our operations. And we need to plow back part of this revenue to motivate our staff. On top of that, we also want to develop some kind of performance-related motivation. As Ben said, for every level of the processes, we give you targets, you exceed your targets, you are rewarded. So with some of these structures in place, we are very much convinced. And with the constant engagement, we try to let them appreciate. And we have told them several times about our public image. Some of us sit in church, and the kind of comments, once you are introduced in church, oh, dog, you are with the Lands Commission, your people. And several platforms, a lot of comments, negative comments. And we tell them, I'm sure when we were in Takrady, we did a program with Ben in Takrady, and the comments that came instantly, oh, Lands Commission.
I decided not to open the phone lines.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But we are very much aware of the public perception. We acknowledge our public image. We acknowledge sincerely. And for that reason, we've gone down to the district level to engage our staff. That look, it's high time we all wake up one day and say to ourselves, enough is enough. And we think by engaging them, and if we're able to succeed to introduce the motivation, the general motivation and then the performance-related motivation, we are convinced that it takes time, but we'll get there one day.
There's been some wild suggestion that we should probably copy what some others have done and let governments own all the lands. That would be easier to manage than the families and others owning it. Is that something that you've been thinking about?
It's easier said than done. It's easier said than done. Other countries, we have to go back into history, and we have to look at the structures. In Ghana, we have a dual legal system. We have the statutory bodies and then the customary laws. We cannot take away the customary authority and put them under the statutes. We have to coexist, but we should be able to create a platform where the left hand will speak to the right hand, in the right hand will speak to the left hand. What we are trying to do as the Lands Commission is to ensure that we bring efficiency into the management. And for that reason, the ministry, through the project, is giving support to the traditional authorities to build their capacity. We have established a number of customary
land
secretaries for a number of traditional authorities, building their capacity, supporting them to ensure that their management of land becomes more effective. And I believe strongly, if you had Ben in his submission, out of the requirements, now the burden is on the traditional authorities to ensure that they manage their lands properly. They give proper documents. They have proper qualified license surveyors to survey and demarcate their lands. So if we're able to build the capacity of the traditional authorities, it might not be very necessary to take all lands from them. Okay. They have the capacity if we give them the opportunity.
Sure. I haven't opened the lines because I think that I can also say what's on people's minds because I'm going through the process. But this one has to come through because it's really important. I've got Tabreo on the line who's got something to say. We'll just listen to you. Good morning, and it's good to have you. Let's hear you.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me on your platform.
Sure.
Actually, I want to find out about there has been a reform. I have bought a plot of plots in Tamale. But my concern is that, I don't know, this reform, when I went there, I was educated very well, and they told me some of these processes that are going on. But my concern is, I don't know, they said before you now have to register a land, you have to get a lease. That was not there some time ago.
You have to get a what?
A lease. That's what I was told.
Okay.
So, I don't know, those of us who already bought, and I was educated that the chiefs are supposed to prepare all these documents before it comes to the land commission. But right now, we have already bought, and these things were not prepared.
Okay.
So, what are we going to do? And when I went there, because they mentioned, but it's too much. The amount is even equivalent to how much I bought the plot.
How much was mentioned to you? Because we're trying to get a figure.
Actually, it was split, unless I'm with the document. But in all, it was like 2,000 or something like that.
Okay. So you want to know what the way forward will be?
Yeah, I want to know the way forward. Okay. Otherwise, there's a problem here.
All right. Okay.
Thank you very much.
So this is part of the new thing?
Yeah, no. You know, in the past, in Tamale specifically, the office was actually assisting people to prepare their leases. A lot of the people did not understand the fact that once you acquire something from the landowner, he's supposed to give you some documents to show. So they come with probably a receipt or just a side plan of having purchased land. And when you get there, an officer will take it and say, no, you need a lease. And then they'll help you prepare the lease and ask you to take it back to the chief to endorse before you continue the process. And I think in the past they took it as an official assignment that the Lands Commission should be doing to be preparing lease. With this new process, we've asked them to start an education campaign there for the public to understand that.
Shouldn't they have done the education before the implementation?
The support by the office to prepare the lease is not going to be taken off immediately because it has a long history.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but the education is ongoing for them to appreciate that this is something that you need to get from whoever gave you the land.
But he was turned away. So can he go back?
I don't think he was turned away. He was told that he needed a lease.
Yes.
Yes. And I'm sure the front desk was trying to educate him more or less on what he needed to do. But we've asked them that once you do that and you see that most of them will not have that understanding, the office will continue to support them to do
All
that.
right.
But to help,
we have to wrap up. So maybe
let me just, to help others who are in a similar situation. We have 4 categories of lands in this country. We have the stool lands, the skin lands, the family lands, and even one other. We have the vessel lands and then the state lands. For the stool lands, if any individual is buying a piece of land from his stool, he needs to sign a lease from the stool. And the lease will be signed between the chief, with his elders, as the owners of the land, and you signing as a purchaser with your witnesses. In a similar manner, if you are buying a land from the northern part of the country, it could be signed by the head of the Skin family. And then if you are buying from the family head has to sign with some principal family members. Sure. With respect to the state lands, that's where the Lands Commission will grant you a lease. For instance, if we are giving you a piece of land at Cantonments, this is the public area. The Lands Commission is the manager of public lands. Okay. The Lands Commission will give you a lease for Cantonment, Airport, or Laboni. If you are in Sunyani or Kufuridua and you have a piece of land, Sunyani is a vessel land, and Lands Commission is managing the vessel land on behalf of the beneficiaries. In that regard, the Lands Commission will also grant you a lease. Okay. Else, you have to deal with your landowners, either a chief or a head of family, to sign a lease with you.
All right, very well said. Maybe we should host you again, and this time around allow people to call in, so that we can try and resolve some of the issues. But I'm grateful for your time. I'm excited about this new center. Yep. I wish I could try it and testify, but thank you. My guest, Dr. Wilfred K. Nimodame, Executive Secretary of the Lands Commission, Mr. Ben Arthur, who is leader, project implementation team, and also Chief Land Administration Officer with the Lands Commission. I'm grateful. Something from Tiobodom says, I always enjoy your morning shows. We're grateful that you always watch. Stay with us.